Good morning. Welcome to the WEX Wakeup for Thursday, October 12th. I'm Christy Matino. We start with the latest on the search for the House Speaker. Congresswoman Nancy Mace said she would refuse to vote for House Majority Leader Steve Scalise for the position.
I personally cannot, in good conscience, vote for someone who attended a white supremacist conference and compared himself to David Duke. I would be doing an enormous disservice to the voters that I represent in South Carolina if I were to do that.
Instead, Mace has been very vocal over the past few days about her support for Congressman Jim Jordan to take over the role. However, some of her Republican colleagues are hoping to not waste any time and get a new speaker voted in immediately.
We are paralyzed unless we have a speaker, and people have to compromise. We have to coalesce around someone. There's no perfect candidate, but absent a speaker, we can do nothing in the House of Representatives. It creates chaos.
The vote to elect the next speaker was delayed on Wednesday until Republicans can secure enough support for Scalise, who was chosen as the party's nominee. Lawmakers are scheduled to meet again for a full vote sometime this week. That is still to be determined exactly when. And Trump targeted President Joe Biden's handling of the war in Israel. In a speech Wednesday night, the former president attacked Biden, accusing him of weakening the country to the extent that Saturday's Hamas attack against Israel was able to occur. He compared his foreign policy record to Biden's, particularly in regards to Iran, criticizing Biden's decision to unfreeze $6 billion of the country's money in exchange for United States hostages being held there.
You know, when you start paying for hostages, I got back 58 hostages, including from North Korea, which is tough. We never had to pay a dime. If you have to pay for hostages, the precedent is set.
But on Tuesday, the White House said they don't regret the deal, standing by President Biden's decision.
The United States does not regret bringing home American citizens who have been unjustly detained abroad. As I said before, the president has no higher priority than to get Americans home.
And GOP Congressman Corey Mills has headed to Israel to help bring home those Americans who are still stranded amid the war against the Jewish state.
We were getting a ton of requests from Americans who were stranded, who had tried to reach out to the State Department, were getting nowhere. And I just kind of made the decision, that I needed to step up and do something. We talk about the difference between statesmen and politicians. One acts and one talks.
Mills' trip comes as a bipartisan group of more than 140 members of the House of Representatives has called on the State Department to use all methods at its disposal, including chartering flights to rescue American citizens who are stranded in Israel. Over 100 hostages are being held by Hamas in Gaza, and 20 or more Americans could be among them, as they're still unaccounted for. Thanks for joining us here on the WEX Wakeup. Be sure to follow us online and on social media so you stay in the know of all those headlines trending in politics.